know what turn the weather might take. Whether you're planning for a drive through one of our central New York winter storms, doing your best to beat the summer heat, or simply getting ahead for the weekend, Eyewitness Weather and the CNY homepage app have the tools and the talent you need to stay informed. Eyewitness Weather, local weather that matters.
Now, your Eyewitness Weather forecast.
6:10, I should say, is almost the time on your early Tuesday evening. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking some freezing rain that will make things icy tonight, and then it looks like it could change back into some snow showers early tomorrow morning. So let's get right to the 4 things you need to know. Again, a mix of snow, sleet, freezing rain, which is our biggest concern, and some plain rain for some of you out there right now. In fact, some of that freezing rain could result in patchy ice buildups, maybe 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch in some cases, but I think the majority of us will see less than that during the overnight hours. However, as I mentioned, as we get some cold air to return to the upper levels of the atmosphere, we will see some wet snow showers back in the area by early tomorrow morning, and the result will be hazardous travel with slippery roads, especially in any areas that do experience the freezing rain. So for that reason, there is a winter weather advisory for most of central New York, with the exception of Madison, Shenango counties, and closer toward the Interstate 81 corridor. But from that point off toward the east, there is a winter weather advisory through 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, and that's where we could see, again, patchy ice buildups, especially to the northeast. That could be as much as 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. But again, I think that's the exception and not the rule. Overnight tonight, we will see mostly cloudy skies with those periods of freezing rain, around 31 for the low. So we're sub-freezing here at the surface, but it's warmer than that up above. So that's the result of the freezing. That's what's resulting in the freezing rain. And then tomorrow, we'll see early rain and snow showers. It's breezy and milder, though, as we head through the afternoon. Winds out of the west, though, at around 13 miles an hour will make that 36 feel like the upper 20s to around 30 for most of the day. Unfortunately, it won't come with a lot of sunshine. We'll see mostly cloudy skies as we head through the afternoon, and temperatures will actually be a little bit warmer earlier in the day and then kind of fall off a little bit as we head through the afternoon. Precip chances remaining high with the exception of Thursday. Friday and Saturday will have periods of rain and showers, but at least it's milder with temperatures into the lower and middle 40s, finally above average for this time of the year. And then Sunday, it looks like we could end the weekend with a few snow showers. Right now, we're dealing with just some plain rain in downtown Utica, hovering right above freezing at 33. The visibility is limited to 4 miles thanks to that rain and that southeasterly breeze at 7 miles an hour, making it feel like 27. We do have some spots that are seeing some wintry precipitation up toward the north with temperatures at or below freezing. And in some cases, it's snow, sleet, and a little bit of freezing rain, even though it's showing freezing rain in downtown Utica. Obviously, we just showed you it's too warm for that. Keep in mind that the radar beam is several hundred feet above the ground, and that's why it's appearing as freezing rain, but actually falling as rain. It'll change over to freezing rain during the overnight hours thanks to a warm front, and then we've got this area of low pressure back toward the Great Lakes region, back toward Michigan, to thank for all this unsettled weather. So we'll see sleet, freezing rain, some snow, and some rain in there during the overnight hours, and then it looks like we'll wrap this up tomorrow morning as a few wet snow showers, but they're wet snow showers because temperatures are right around, if not just above 32 degrees. So there's a wetter consistency to that snow. And then as we head through the afternoon, we will just see a lot of clouds and temperatures slipping through the 30s. And as far as the ice buildup, the most of it will occur up toward the north and east. The central Mohawk Valley could see as much as, again, 1/10 to maybe 1/4 of an inch. In some cases, I think most of us get away with less than that. And then eyes on the prize as we head through Friday and Saturday, even though it does feature shower chances. Temperatures finally getting into the 40s, well above average for this time of year. Thomas, in the meantime.
Now, your Eyewitness Weather forecast.
It is just about 10:17 on your late Tuesday evening. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking a bit of messy weather as we head through the overnight hours. That includes some freezing rain, and eventually it'll go over to snow showers as we get some colder air above our heads yet again. And that's before we see a warm-up for the middle and end of the week. Let's first take a look at our stats for today. Believe it or not, we are actually 2 degrees above average for this time of year. Our average high right at freezing, we're at 34, and that's currently where we're at right now. Our low this morning, also right where we should be at this time of year at 18. So it felt so much nicer than it has for most of the last 30 to 60 days, with temperatures the last time they were above average was right before Thanksgiving, and our record high 62 degrees set back in 2007. So obviously we weren't there, and we also weren't near the record low minus 12 from 1912, but we also did have nearly a third of an inch above that precipitation. That includes the rain and liquid equivalent of any snowfall out there. But as we go through the overnight hours, this is the 4 things to know. So we've got a mix of snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rain throughout central New York. There could be some patchy ice buildups between 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch of freezing rain, but that would be the exception and not the rule. However, area-wide tomorrow morning, we will see wet snow showers back into the mix as we get some of that colder air back above our heads yet again. But we will see some hazardous travel during the overnight hours with slippery roads. So that's part of the reason why this winter weather advisory is in effect area-wide, with the exception of Madison and Chenango counties through 11 a.m. on Wednesday morning. So that's it. It's a winter weather advisory, not an ice storm warning or a winter storm warning, but there could be some slick travel. So that's the reason why it's in effect overnight tonight. That'll be the case with periods of freezing rain, mostly cloudy skies, dropping to around 31 degrees briefly. It'll feel like the 20s, too, with winds out of the east at around 9 miles an hour. And then as we head through our Wednesday, we'll see temperatures making their way into the lower and middle 30s with some early rain and snow showers. Otherwise, it'll be breezy and milder, especially during the afternoon with mostly cloudy skies. And our sunset tomorrow is at 4:46. It'll feel like the 20s again for most of the day, with the winds out of the west at around 10 to 15 miles an hour. So starting off the day with that light rain and snow, ending the day with mostly cloudy skies and temperatures in the 30s throughout. So we've got high rain chances and eventually some snow chances as we head through Sunday. In between that, we'll have a dry day on Thursday. Thursday looks like the nicest day of the next 7, with just mostly cloudy skies at this point and temperatures in the low 40s. Right now, 34 downtown Utica. Visibility is reduced to 5 miles, and we've got a bit of a breeze out there. We've got temperatures into the 20s up toward the north, and that's where you're seeing more snow. Down toward the southwest, though, with temperatures above freezing, we've got some rain, and some of it's coming down moderately to heavily, and we have this area of low pressure over southwestern Ontario to thank for that. So we'll keep rain and snow shower chances through at least early Wednesday morning, and that could affect your morning commute as well. So just be mindful of that. And the winds switch over to the west tomorrow, and we'll see temperatures in the 30s, feeling like the 20s through most of the day. Again, most of us coming away with under 1/10 of an inch of ice buildup, but there could be some sections that do see in the eastern Mohawk Valley as much as 1/4 of an inch. That's the exception and not the rule. The big thing that you'll notice, though, is the temperatures making their way into the 40s with showers by the end of the week and into the start of the upcoming weekend. Thomas, I'll send it to you for a look at sports.
All right, thank you, Jordan. The count.
Now, your eyewitness weather forecast.
It is now exactly 11:12 on your late Tuesday evening. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking rain and snow showers and freezing rain going over to snow showers as we head through the early portion of our Wednesday. That's before we see a warm-up. Let's first take a look at the 4 things you need to know tonight, and that is, again, a mix of snow, sleet, freezing rain, and some plain old rain for some of us. And in some areas that do see the freezing rain, there could be patchy ice buildups of 1/10 of an inch to maybe 1/4 of an inch. And then, as I mentioned, tomorrow morning, it goes back over to wet snow showers. And that mix of precipitation could result in some hazardous travel with some slippery roads for your morning commute. Thankfully, things will look better as we head toward the afternoon. But through 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, most of our area is under a winter weather advisory. As I mentioned, till 11 a.m., and that's for, again, some of that hazardous travel. There could be patchy ice buildups, as I mentioned, of up to 1/4 of an inch, but I think that would be the exception and not the rule. So overnight tonight, we'll see temperatures briefly dropping to around freezing, and they're coming up yet again with mostly cloudy skies, those periods of freezing rain continuing. However, with the winds out of the east at around 6 to 12 miles an hour, it'll feel like the 20s overnight, and then we will see early rain and snow showers, and then it'll be breezy and milder as we head through the afternoon. afternoon, with temperatures holding steady into the lower and mid-30s, which is above average for this time of year. Today's high 34 was also above average for this time of year. That's the first time we've been able to say that since right before Thanksgiving. The winds, however, out of the west tomorrow at around 10 to 15 miles an hour will make it feel like it's in the upper 20s to right around 34 most of the day. And we will see again that light rain and snow during the morning, and then just mostly cloudy skies. So not a lot of sunshine. There may be a few breaks here and there by the time we head toward the afternoon. And into the evening hours, we'll see those mostly cloudy skies hanging around as well. Something else that will be hanging around are the high precipitation chances. Not so much on Thursday. Thursday actually looks like the nicest day of the next 7, even though it won't exactly be the warmest. That occurs on Friday. Saturday still in the 40s, but it does come with some rain showers, and then it goes back to snow showers by the time we close out the weekend on Sunday. We've got rain showers out there right now in downtown Utica, 34 degrees. The visibility is limited to 4 miles thanks to that. However, with that southeasterly breeze at 7 miles an hour, it feels like 32. And up toward the north, we've got temperatures that are at or below freezing, so we're seeing more snow and sleet there. And then it's mainly rain down toward the south, where you have more of a southerly breeze. So the radar is all lit up in all different colors right now. Again, more rain down toward the southwest, light to moderate snow, and some sleet mixed in there up toward the north and the east. And it's all part of this area of low pressure back toward the Great Lakes right now. It's once this cold front moves through tomorrow morning that we will see that rain change briefly back over to some snow showers and a wet snow too, with temperatures right around, if not just above freezing for your morning commute. And then we'll see generally improving conditions as we head through the afternoon. Temperatures holding steady into the mid-30s. As far as that ice buildup, most of us come away with a few hundredths of an inch, maybe a tenth of an inch in some cases. And then as we take a look at the 7-day forecast, that does include some shower chances to close out the work week and some warmer temperatures before we go back to reality next week temperature-wise. Thomas, back to you.
Thank you, Jordan.